Megan, played by the beautiful Cleopatra Coleman.
Fear starts to attack us all, and mine comes about through spiders and bugs and gross stuff like that.
She has arachnophobia. She's itching constantly. Again, it's getting worse and worse and worse, and she's getting infected. She gets this bug bite. So it's almost as if the more she thinks about her fear, the worse it's becoming for mysterious reasons. It's like her fear and all of their fears are being manipulated by something insidious.
The diner scene was great. It was cool. It was almost too real for me. They had like an actual AK-47 shooting blanks, obviously. It was really scary. And I mean, I'm sure I don't have to mention shootings are kind of a relevant thing right now. It's very scary. At the same time, it was a cool scene because it was, you know, a scene where we were all there. We actually shot in a real diner in Medina.
Well, Blake has a very interesting arc. He, you know, we don't really know him at all, who he really was before this shooting disaster, but he's very badly injured, and when he arrives at the clinic, he's completely paralyzed, basically, and can't speak.
I'm Sarah. He hasn't spoken since the shooting, I'm afraid.
And then during the treatments with Dr. Andover in the fear chamber, he starts to get a little bit of movement back and speech back, but of course that's something that shouldn't be happening. So it's a good thing that I'm getting better, but it raises questions of how and why.
His brain activity's tripled.
Why can't you see that that's amazing?
Because, Sarah, what's happening here to Blake simply isn't possible.
He's kind of, the way I've been sort of thinking of him is it's almost like you're watching a child, you know, like a baby learn to walk and learn to speak again, because it's been about a year since he's spoken anything. So it's, I've sort of tried to maintain a very kind of innocent presence.
I see monsters.
I kind of got the bug just from making music videos over my career and everything, and you know, having like 15 seconds of fame in that rollerball thing that happened. You know, I'd gone to auditions over the years and had just never it just never worked with my schedule. So I got the chance to do this. I mean, it was literally 2 weeks between getting the offer and then showing up on set because it was so quick, and I jumped at it.
What is going on with you? Bauer! Bauer? Bauer!
The window, I pushed on the window, it pushed back. It's not making me leave.
When you're on stage and when you're kind of in the music and everything, it's so much a part of who you are, you know, where this is a chance to kind of step out of that and be somebody else, you know, and you know, with my character, which, you know, you could really play it really generic or whatever, I'm trying to be as creepy and gross as possible, you know? Like, I want people to leave that theater going, I'm so glad whatever happened to him, you know? Which is why the mustache is here. That's right. Don't worry.
Yo, can I get some help over here?
Excuse me?
Yo, lady, I just drove 5 hours. I just need you to come over
Wait,
here.
you're Dylan Dunn, right?
Yeah, that's me.
Dylan's a kick-ass dude, thrill seeker, an adrenaline junkie. He rides motorcycles, he does flips, he races motorcycles. He basically thrives on fear. So he doesn't understand people who are sensitive to fear.
I know all about fear, and it's got no place in my world.
It's kind of exciting because he's the opposite of all the other characters here. They're living in fear and living with a phobia, and Dylan doesn't have a phobia.
Every day, somebody on the crew in Cleveland would come up to us with a new phobia they'd discovered, some new strange phobia. I mean, I've always thought too, one of the ones I've always wanted to exploit was the fear of clowns. You know, the phobia of clowns. How would that manifest itself, you know, against a kind of clinical background? You know, how would you do that?
There's so many phobias, and there's so many, you know, we're only scratching the surface, and I try to, in this, you know, give you sort of some of the most broad ones. I think insects and spiders and, you know, things like that, which was a big hit in our web series as well. That was sort of, I think, everyone's favorite episode was Entomophobia, where we had the bug girl.
It's just such a rich idea. You know, the fear clinic, the fear chamber, this sort of samadhi tank, this sort of a deprivation chamber where a doctor can attack your phobias. The best way to describe the kind of core plot of the fear clinic is that the chamber itself leaks. A little bit of leakage. And what is that? Well, if it's fear, it has to go somewhere. And how does it manifest itself? This black substance seems to induce hallucinations.
I really am a catalyst to helping Dr. Andover do what he loves and to kind of get back to that, and kind of a conduit between working with the patients and working with the doctor as well to try to just get them better and get them on the road to recovery. I'm very nurturing, for sure. She's very protective of Dr. Andover.
What you and this box have done for me and my claustrophobia, for all the people you've helped, it is not over, and you know that.
It's fun. I think you get to play more in this genre.
1, 2, hand grenade.
Working with Rob's always a pleasure for me. I worked on his first film. In fact, I've worked on all of his films. I'm his trademark, I think. There was one movie of his I didn't work on because I was in Mexico, but we've decided, since my son is working on this movie also, that makes up for it. So we still have a batting average of 1,000, yeah.
This building in and of itself is you know, untapped, like no one's ever filmed here before, and it's much more of a different kind of fear clinic. Having shot here, it has a history.
Well, the Pythian Women's House is basically an ex-retirement home in the beautiful Medina, Ohio. And Medina, Ohio is beautiful. Surrounded by snow. We're in the middle of December here. And it's been transformed into a fear clinic.
A lot of the local people think it's haunted. Just aesthetically, though, it's pleasing, and I think it's a lot more of an old rehab or, you know, an old folks' home. But I think it's something that Andover would have found and repurposed.
We'll never get that clear.
I've known Rob for quite some time, and we've worked together before, so he knows kind of what he has, you know, what it takes to pull off a shot, and that allows us to be able to create just what we need to pull off a shot, you know.
Yay!
It's been insane to work with Robert and to get to do that already, like check one bucket thing off the list, and then you work with someone like Steve Johnson, returning and doing his first work in 8 years. He's essentially left the business and has been a writer and that type of stuff, and now he's sort of back and doing this.
What I've found in the past is that when you have not very much money and not very much time, it kind of forces you, it spawns creativity. It forces you to not go from A to B to C to D. You have to jump from A to Z. So you have to make different decisions. You have to approach everything a little bit different. And I think that it really kind of, sometimes I've certainly found on this project, I'm being blown away by the work we're doing. And if we had had a lot of money and a lot of time, we never would have approached the sequences of effects this way. We made this incredibly bizarre bladder system that has huge crab-like claws and tentacles and anything, you name it. Made of very, very thin polypropylene plastic, the bladders basically. Suck all the air out of them, 6 puppeteers, ram it into the guy's fist, right? So you don't see it. His hand hits the door, bam, these things inflating, and it's a very inexpensive trick. And we're doing that, and I lost my mind. It was like the first time I've been excited about effects in 20 years.
This movie, actually, I got scared. So that was really fun for the first time to kind of be on the other side and to see the special effects, them putting the creature together and like actually seeing it come to life. Like there are moments where I'm like, oh, that really, I jumped, like it really got me.
And I was back in the chair again, and I haven't been in the chair since 2003, Freddy versus Jason. So 10 years, you know, practically for me. Back in the chair again, you know, with the Vaseline and the little crusty brushes.
Today we're doing a dead girl makeup. She's had her neck blown out, shotgun wound or gun wound, and she's got an autopsy scar on. We're getting ready to get that makeup going. There's the girl with the egg sac on her back that they cut into and lance, and pus comes out.
Rob Hall with Almost Human, his company, blends very, very well the marriage of digital and practical effects. We're able to do a lot of things much differently these days if you have the digital team on your side.
And it's just crazy, you know, with green screen and reverse shooting and all these kind of crazy tricks. So it's been fun to do that.
who builds this box, and he wants to play God, and he wants to start digging around in our heads. No way.
Damn, that is creepy.